Oh, we're now starting to record. Okay, and it's 6:30. We'll call the meeting to order. And first matter of business. I have a motion to approve notes that Peg's published on the 30th and the 29th. I got to do them individually, correct, Mike?
Right, because we didn't have a forum.
Second. Good evening. Aye.
So it's the last two we have to approve.
Excellent. Okay, I think Mike is officially, I think, a committee member.
Yes,
Yeah, I was sworn in
perfect.
Sworn in.
and I filled out the certificate for one.
Okay.
Handed that in today. So,
He is an official member, committee member. Welcome aboard.
Yes.
So now the fun begins.
Yeah.
Mike, you have all the action on you tonight.
Yes.
Did anybody tell you the last guy in buys the case of beer?
Who has it? That one.
Yes. Okay, Karen's not, my wife's not here. She's babysitting some of the grandkids.
That happens.
So, but I can give you, she redid the summary and went through a look at current and future. I've read it, the second page, there's a lot of good activity, a lot of good lines, and this was, I think I sent this out to everybody in the committee. And when we looked at utilization, trying to be consistent through future and current, we came up at 86% future utilization of the new building. That's a nice, comfortable place because it gives us a little bit of growth. It also gives us capabilities to cover all of it. When you look at the new building, because of the way we did it, even though we do run two things in the same room, we looked at a room being utilized and being booked.
You can split it.
We didn't split in all cases. So that came up to 125% utilization. So I think that also takes a look at that our current basis, packed and overpacked. There are side notes here that'll tell you that people have been turned away. And there are also side notes here to talk about things that are out of plan. And if we can get the project approved, that'd be something we'd be looking at the short list of ads when we got to bid. We'll get those quoted. Things like the garage. And that knocks out some events. Like yard sales capabilities without a garage would be difficult. Cardboard boat race would be impossible because there's no place to build a boat. So, but that would be one of the first ads we try to put in. Well, other ways.
You go through the summary grid at the bottom of the page. I mean, if this is available, that's the grid that people are going to ask questions about.
They're available.
So
They're available. You have 7 areas, and basically we took 7 areas.
like 7 rooms, you can have activity, right?
That gives you $12,740.
Yeah.
External, the events equal, not external events, internal events, equal 11,100 1 hour. And it goes into it. We come up with an 80%.
So what is the 18-20 hours per year?
That's 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
For the building, 52 weeks. So that's maxed out.
All right, so you're saying that we use the center 40 hours a week, that's what you're saying?
Yeah,
I
Monday
don't
through
know,
Friday,
well, I'll take your word for it.
Monday through Friday,
Okay, so the 1456 on the current means that you're only open 4 days.
4 days a week.
Okay.
I might add legend. That's important. 'Cause I was doing the numbers differently in my head. I'm trying to figure out what they meant, but I would add something there because that makes sense.
You can do that. And basically, a number of areas you can run activities in and times, which will give you your full capabilities. Right, the ledger makes sense.
But I think the big thing I see here though is hours a year, 2912 compared to 12740, right? That's the comparison, right?
Yeah.
I would make those, see it says available 12740. I'd use the same label. Well, it's over 2912, just so they know it's the same comparative.
Yeah.
I think that's this, you're talking about you know, 4 times. Why do you need a bigger building? Because even with 80-60% utilization, with a good utilization factor, you're quadrupling the available programming hours, right? At a high utilization rate. You're not just saying, I'm quadrupling the number of programs and nobody's coming. You're saying, you know.
The new building gives us the capability to run those programs.
And I think the other thing that jumps out at me is the average attendance. I know those are just sort of forecasted, but even just the forecasting and the potential numbers, the comparative of what that, because that's what you're saying is we turn people away in this new building. We can actually address that because our capacity of the number of potential attendees is exponentially higher.
Where were you reading that? Because I think it's on my state laws. You see it?
Yeah, no, it's not in the total.
Oh.
When I see forecast and average attendance on the 2 columns and things like that, so your forecast on the top column, about in the middle of the page, you're saying that in the future, veterans information programs, your forecast 25 to 40 individual participants, right? Compared to 15 to 30. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you say you're you're increasing the potential capacity by 1/3,
And that,
you're addressing we turn people away by doing this.
and it depends, if you go through that comparison all up and down, you see that some of the activities actually grow larger.
Yep.
And then some of them are dictated by the number of people be managed in the fitness room or managed in the photography room. So we took that into account. So sometimes it's the same.
Yeah.
Or close to the same.
I think the other things, going 4 to 5 days a week, you can ask for operational costs.
Sure.
So we should put a number, but the impact going 4 to 5 days is like operational from budget standpoint.
Yeah, I think from
And on last.
I think from an operational standpoint, and Amy would bring it for a budget proposal this coming year, is to go for a full-time administrator, which she only has a part-time one.
Yeah, that's not answering the question though, Phil. I would be just forget what this does operationally. The impact is and Jeremy probably can help with this. What do we think on 4 to 5 days? You might just do a factor of
100%.
right. And that number for her overall budget's not that big. But if it's a void, people are gonna kind of insert their own number, you know?
If utilization of soap, water, heat, although the building's heated now.
A lot of the fixed costs are the same. It's gonna be people, right?
The biggest piece is the person to drive the assistant to be there available for 4 or 5 days a week.
And did any of these additional programming cause any increase in hires? Is it volunteer? Or is it external people coming in, contracting resources?
Most of these, all of these are subsidized by grants and or friends right now.
I would
Right,
just,
you mean whether or not we need a body from the senior center to oversee
yeah,
this?
or are you contracting somebody in and I would just be prepared with an answer.
We
If
contract,
there's sort of a hum and people are gonna say, well,
contract people in today, and it's funded by grants, it's funded by friends,
just
and
have an
also
answer.
funded by contributions from the attendees.
I'm just playing my role here, ask a question.
Oh, you're so good at it.
I'm gonna say, Mike can answer that for
He's
you.
already-
But you're right, good points. Most of those, I think we know.
No, but you're making a good point, because I'll tell you why. I know what you're saying about some of the programs, but some of the other areas, like that's going to increase Janet. Janet's our social service outreach person.
Mhm.
And having more people come in, that's going to affect her, because she can only see so many people in certain, you talk to somebody about grief counseling or something like that, or I need to fill out an application for SMOC, or that takes time. So yes, I think there is going to be a need either for an additional day for her. Yeah.
What is our
I think-
administrator is only it's 30 some hours, right? Julie,
Okay, I don't know how many Julie hours, she has a day off a week and they're closed on Friday, so she's a 3-day. She's a 3-day. And volunteers fill in her role because she's mostly the greeter and she arranges transportation, which Amy can do that.
So some of this can be handled by schedule. you could be open 5 days a week and not increase the hours of the individual that deals with that specific interaction you're talking about. But if your intent is to expand that, so she's full out now with the number of people she sees,
Exactly.
and you
Now you're
expect
talking-
an X% increase, then
Mhm.
you're better off actually saying what the budget impact is than saying there's no budget impact. Or, I mean,
Yeah.
I see eyes roll when we say, well, they're volunteers or it's grants. You know, I mean, realistically, they're gonna say, well, this type of expansion really should have an operational impact. I mean, I think it should, it's just what it is.
Tim and I looked at the number of the operational impact.
Yeah.
Looking at this building, comparing the road size and police station. And I think it is.
Yeah.
We looked at projecting that to operational piece, not salary piece.
Yeah, I think this is just staffing, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think
Because
the need is going to increase. That's my opinion, but Amy's here. We'll let her get
I
started.
think the facilities piece is no one quite knows, and if you're using the police station as a extrapolate from what you experienced at the police station, that's fair, you know what I mean? So to run all these programs, and then you go in and say, yeah, but there's a cost, and then there's an operational cost. If you say there isn't any, I think most people will say, well, it doesn't feel right to me.
The town doesn't pay for the program, the execution of the event. The coordination of the event, the administration of the event, organizing the event. People do, right? Getting it going, set it up. But events right now, in your budget, Amy, you don't have any money for running exercising or running.
Now, the Friends of Mendon Elders pay for a lot of our programming. Otherwise, a lot of our other programming exercise classes are all self-funded. I say that they're self-funded, but then we do utilize our state grant to make up any difference. Sometimes they're really different. Some of the events carry themselves completely. Other ones we are a little bit low on attendance. We pick up the balance with the grant.
The state grant. So from a program standpoint, it's not, it's the administration. Whereas,
I don't even want to say it, I'm just saying if there's a budget impact, I would just quantify it so you can speak to it.
well, I'm thinking today, your administrator today, Amy, is, how many hours do you have today?
How many hours do I have?
Does she have?
Oh gosh, she's only 18.
18. I think we need to get to another part-time person to get it close to 40. So that's operational costing for salary increase. That I see.
And Janet is what, 30 hours?
32.
32. I don't think she has the desire anyway to increase her hours
No.
anyway.
Kim originally was going to bring her on for 37, and that's a lot. That's a lot of burnout that will
Yeah,
come with that position.
Mhm.
So
Well, that's what the point Mike Goddard was making about how we have to be able to answer people if they think it's going to be an increase. And I'm thinking Janet's role doing food stamp applications, SMOC and all that. If you're building a bigger building that you want people to come, she can't clone herself, she's going to have to get help. And some of those things are too confidential for volunteers.
Yeah, Amy, you and I can sit down and talk about it. I think Janet's role is more important, but what's the impact there based on the programs?
Yeah.
And I think from an administrative, the 18 hours going to, well, I think you proposed that in the last year's budget.
my preference would be to have a full-time person, but I understand the reason for wanting to part-time. I honestly think a full-time person, there's more reason to stay. I mean, when you've got,
Continuity.
paid vacation and
Yeah, that's
Health benefits.
health benefits. But not everybody takes the health benefits. They might have them through their spouses. So, but I know that we have to build that in to the budget anyway. But I understand too the reasoning for wanting do part-time, and sometimes that can work out nicely.
the continuity would be nice to get.
Well,
Well,
you
we'll
can
get
just
to that.
quantify in terms of FTEs, right?
Mhm.
Don't even think about the position, thinking you think it's somewhere 1.5 FTEs, full-time equivalents. How they're split, both part-time and full-time, not important right now, but I'm sure that Jeremy has a standard FTE cost where he can extrapolate that for you, right? Think about the hours.
So when are you suggesting we bring this up?
We just have it in our pocket.
6 months ago.
Hindsight is always 20.
No, I think this gives you the foundation to understand why,
Right,
right? So this is a great visualization of we say more programming. It's there, right? You say, hey, you turn people away there, you know, it's.
I
well,
think,
we're running into difficulties with the veterans breakfast. We have
We have
100, how many?
275 veterans.
We have 275 veterans that we're sending letters, we were going to send letters to.
And we've started to cut it back to, should we do 60 and older? And then we said, well, that was 166. And then we said, well, if we cut it down to 65 and older. See, during the pandemic, because we knew we weren't going to have opportunities to gather, we did send out all those notices and we thanked our veterans. And then we did, for those that responded to us, we did give them, gift certificates.
It's actually a good example. I mean, you have 275 people you'd like to invite to.
okay,
To the veterans breakfast next
You
month.
can't house them in seniors.
No.
But you still want to invite, is there a location somewhere locally, somewhere that you could bring 275
No.
veterans to?
I don't think so.
No. Talk about rent.
Unitarian Church only holds 94.
Okay.
We've already been told that.
Have to do the bottle.
Well, but I'm not saying you do it. What I'm saying is in order to accommodate our veterans lunch, this could accommodate it. Today, I would have to rent the Myriad Ballroom at this cost.
Right.
What Mendon usually does is we just make it work, and that means we minimize,
we don't, like, get them all.
we don't invite we don't house everybody, but we get by with what we have.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
think you want to make the case that to support the veteran community the way the town should, I don't think you're going to find an argument for anyone. We'd have to rent the Myriad Ballroom because we don't have any place in the town that can support that type of event. And who doesn't want to have that type of event?
That is the whole rationale for this.
Right, but now it's starting to feel like there's a real
Right.
case to be made, like you can articulate a specific thing that people relate to. Right?
If you present a need like that, then that makes that, yeah.
Even put the request in, say, Jeremy, I'd like to rent the Myriad Ballroom, and this is,
Yeah.
I'm serious, and so we can't afford it.
My opinion, town meeting, these are where the questions are gonna be asked.
Yeah.
Okay, we should be prepared to give some generic figures and then add that we are working with the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee. And that's when the Board of Selectmen stand up and reiterate that. Simple, not look to us, because the Board of Selectmen are gonna okay, whatever, if you wanna hire 2 more people or 8 more people, we don't decide that. They do. So they gotta stand up to the plate and say, yeah, we're working towards blah, blah, blah. And we're studying it and blah, blah, blah. And that puts that away.
What this committee needs to do, Mike, is put the information together to present to the board saying, this is why we need it. And you say, yeah, that makes sense, or it doesn't make sense. Or we take the start and we work with the finance team and Jeremy, et cetera, to put more meat on the bone. But
Well,
we have to get to a starting point where we actually have information. This is a great starting point.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, but I think this committee has been doing that for a year. So now it's time, we're not gonna count every penny at this meeting. We're not gonna go in depth and have 2-hour monologue on explaining this. We gotta shorten it up to keep it moving.
If this is not,
No, this is,
And the Board of Selectmen, in my opinion, have gotta stand up to the plate. And again, the voters elect them. We were chosen
with all due respect,
by them.
all due respect, the select board has been fully behind this and.
Yes.
And I'm not saying you
I'm
weren't.
just saying, if I'm gonna stand up and make an argument for it, I need information, which I'm starting to see, which is good. And I think the idea from the budget concern, we're not talking about numbers, I said FTEs, 1.5 people, 1.5 heads, that's what I think I need to do this. Everything is what I think, the forecast, this is all,
what I think.
right, and that's fine. We work with that, because you don't really know. But to do an operational budget, the department heads do need to present the information for finance and Jeremy's part of that. I mean, Amy, I'd sit down with Jeremy like, I know he's on vacation, I believe, but it's like, I think that's the next step, because I think he can probably look at this and say, this is how we can do it. So you don't think it's on your shoulders to do it? But yeah, I mean, I think this is about 75% ready to go. We just need and we don't need, if you don't want an operational impact, we don't need to add it, because we can kind of present this as is. I just think people are gonna ask the question.
Well, I think to your point, you quickly extrapolated in your mind. And we stated here that the receptionist needs to be full-time. We need somebody to cover it full-time, not 18 hours a week. Julie could have an impact, and we could take a look at that quickly. So you're around one and a half people additional. So that's what your long run rate is, probably in 26, when we open the doors. The other things from a program standpoint, we've already stated, we'll continue to do grants, we'll do self-funding, and we'll do friends. And that'll drive a lot of programs. You drive evening programs, they're gonna be self-funded by the students. I do a Pilates at night or yoga, it's, $20 a head, and they're gonna come in and do it. There are operational things. Dave's extrapolation takes us from around close to 20, probably about to 40. If we do it correctly, looking at what he went through from his upside, and looking what we need. So we need about $20,000 operational this year in 26, granting, moving up to that. And probably 1.5 FTEs. And we only have 2 1/4, 2 1/10. 2 1/20.
All right, so the next, did you know? You and I had been discussing, we had come up with a did you know to show the beginnings of the senior center and how the town did not purchase that it was built by volunteers and everything. Got to get that point out, that they've never built anything for us. But the second thing is we do have that article. I think you're just giving it the final touch up about how we have to go to the Unitarian Church for the senior of the year because we don't have the room down there, and now the veterans. In fact, the numbers are higher than I thought.
The veterans.
Yeah, they're a lot higher than I thought. We must have, one of the highest populations per capita.
Good point. We can close it on this one. It's a good discussion. I think we got a lot of information. We just need to crisp it up for the select board. And Mike, to your point, those guys are gonna fund it.
You gotta okay it. They're the town fathers. That's why they ran and got elected. The people elected them, so they should be hearing a lot from that board. At least that's how I feel, because I'm sitting in the audience. And I know firsthand, because I sat on that side of the desk for 6 years. So again, my opinion.
Well, I think a presentation, when we get down to the November 18th, and we'll have time to do that. I do see that we'll have more than just us going up and talking.
Mhm.
I think it's the board, select board, their representatives. It could be other members. Jeremy, I can see him contributing to this discussion.
Shouldn't we bring this up too at the next town hall,
Well,
open house thing?
we did, we're not gonna try to answer something by Monday or next week. If somebody asks a question, we'll be prepared.
2 weeks, isn't it?
2
Yeah,
weeks,
that's
yeah,
what
2
I'm
weeks. I guess my point being is town hall meeting, I thought the format went well. That was one of the topics we want to talk about. I would like to have more people there, and hopefully there'll be more people here today, on the 28th.
They have been invited numerous times. Karen's invited them. I've invited them.
Well, we're gonna continue to invite them. But I thought the format was excellent. I don't know if anybody had a chance to see the rerun.
I just, being in the audience, I thought it was excellent.
And because we had, Mike, to your point, we had the architect, we had me, the architect, we had Peg, we also had the select board, we had Dave there, and then Jeremy. And everybody was talking beyond the senior center, because this is more than the senior center. It's the forecasting, it's the strategic plan, it's the master plan. How does this all fit together?
We just didn't
I thought that went
even
very well.
zoom in it.
No.
There wasn't even
Because I was
a
on there.
handful.
But you know what? I don't think there was enough time. It wasn't published. I mean, yes, Facebook perhaps, but was it in the newspaper? No, it wasn't. We did get the second one in the newspaper. People bothered to read that letter to the
The
editor.
ABMI's picked up some traction. Because some people come up to me, I know you.
Oh, good.
I said, "I'm to-"
So your poster in the poster.
But I think we'll have more traction coming this.
I hope so, because it's kind of our last opportunity.
Bill, did you consider going on WMRC? The radio station?
Really?
My voice,
Yeah, you go and have an interview.
I could.
I think that's an idea, because a lot of older people do listen to WMRC still.
I'm
Now we
younger
have a new
crowd.
generation.
Yeah, we could, yeah. I didn't even know it was here. I just can't read Facebook before I go on radio.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's been a ton of questions, and there were questions that I was not able to answer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did my best, or
You did great.
I would say to them,
You did
I'm
great.
trying to get you an answer.
And Brendan did.
Oh, he was really, he was fabulous.
Amazing.
I know.
Amazing. But you can only do so much when you're trying to work.
Well, that's what he said too. He said, you know, I need someone else to take over this. I said, I'm doing the best that I can. We were at the Council on Aging meeting that morning. I mean,
Yeah, and I was in Arizona.
oh, I know that. I'm just saying it. But there were a lot of questions, and that's a good thing. It's just if we could get rid of the stuff that isn't true, you know, the
Right.
made up stuff.
Remember one thing, Facebook is gonna drive you to. All the people on Facebook, if you look at the traditional, there's 100 people in there, they're always chirping. I don't mean that negatively.
Mhm.
A lot of it's good, but there's a lot of people who have opinions and they'll just keep stating their opinion.
I call them keyboard warriors.
The reason I send out that message when I was in Arizona, invite them to a meeting, look somebody in the face and discuss it.
Right.
Right.
And then,
And we do that. And we do that.
yeah, so I think we just need to stress that. I don't want to dive into rat holes.
But I think, you know, I think if you answer them as quickly as you can.
And I think you did a great job on a lot of it.
Well, it isn't only me, like Brendan did fabulous, you know, you were answering, I was answering. It's almost like, I think you have to earn their trust, and I think if you earn their trust by responding to them, saying like, yes, your question's important to me, not just mouth it, but get the information to them as soon as we can, then I think we have some credibility with them. I know I do, if I call a store or something and nobody ever calls me back, I mean, you know. But if somebody calls me back and says, I'm trying to get you that answer, can you give me a couple hours or something? I'm like, absolutely, it does. But anyway, that's my 2 cents.
That's good. I think it's great. You guys did a great job. I just caution that social media can be. You have naysayers on social media, either side. And sometimes we can overreact to that.
We had some good responses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Questions.
But
And
people, yeah, giving us the thumbs up
Right.
and the hearts and
Yeah.
things like that, yeah.
No, I thought the overall info was great.
Well, anyway, we're doing the best we can.
I was pleased with the signs.
Pardon me?
I've been pleased with the signs. You know, my community, and then today I had to go out and do a couple of.
Oh, so you saw them,
Oh, yes,
yeah,
yes,
I do too.
very nice.
put out quite a lot.
Well, we did kind of cover what went on during the information meeting. And I think that was pretty good. And it is on the website. Dan posted it on the website so people can watch that first information meeting there.
Oh, okay.
It's on channel 8. It's on the private site. And Karen, I'm going to give you a link on, I'll get you that link. So you can put it on Facebook.
That would be great.
But I think I don't know. Mike, what'd you think of the meeting? What should we do different on the 28th?
I wouldn't do anything different. I was just hoping there'd be more Q&A than just sort of us sharing our opinions, you know?
We took this Q&A off.
So,
Remember how there was two, I'll say strangers, they weren't strangers, but two people who were not on the committee that were there. The lady that was, when you go in sitting on the left, she came up to me Sunday and she actually asked me for a sign.
Wow.
I dropped it off on my way home.
Yes.
So I thought that was good because she was sitting there listening and I said to her, we would have welcomed your question. She said, no, I was only there to listen. And she said, we'd like a sign in our yard.
That's powerful.
I guess it went really well.
And there, we do need to take time to explain. Because
Yes, and you were doing that with the guy that helped us drive all the tables and chairs,
I think there's,
who was against it right from the start, but
You know,
you,
John,
Yeah, but you might have, I'm not using any last
I'm
names,
sorry, yeah.
but you,
I think we might be getting closer, maybe.
maybe, yeah, so
We didn't get to the science
Those
station.
person's coming around.
Elena, this gentleman helped us
The
move
signs around town.
8-foot tables and chairs and everything to get out to the fair. And he was dead set, because the first thing I said to him, "We're signing your yard," and he's like, "Absolutely not, I don't believe in it." But I was,
And then,
still was talking to him, and then I think after he didn't ask me for a sign.
Was it this weekend?
Yeah, we had,
sounds like there was some.
yeah, part of the communications piece. Greg, I think you're next on the list that we had this weekend. We want to keep on going with that.
Well, the only thing I can tell you is that we divided the shift up. I worked 7 to 12, and you worked 12 to 5. Well, you still had to bring the stuff back and everything, but yeah, we did the setup, and Elena stopped by to see us. We spoke to everybody. We had the posters up, we had the signs, in fact, you got some of my papers, I think.
You're back.
Yeah, I'll get it after. We had all sorts of information that they could take with them. We answered every question, whether they were from Mendon or not. We didn't say, "Oh, are you from Mendon?" Oh, "You're not, too bad." But it's like, no, where are you from? Because people in other towns know other people.
Yeah.
So, I thought it was good. I can always speak for my shift, but I thought it was good. Now, we had no bodies to do signs. I mean, we were just, there was no way we could ever handle signs, but Elena had a good idea about maybe on a Friday night for like an hour or so, holding up signs.
Yeah, like rush hour and by the light
Yeah,
before dark.
So you don't get hit.
yeah. But that's,
What about holding signs on the night of the special meeting?
Well, that's a whole.
Well, yes,
We-
but I mean, yeah, but that's gonna be 2 weeks after the election, so.
yeah, because we needed to get to them by the November 5th.
No, I get that.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, probably it'll get dark really early.
Daylight savings.
But it's saying,
If the meeting's gonna start at like 7, it's gonna be,
Dark.
dark, so,
Yeah.
so,
well,
I think
yeah.
What about the stuff like?
Hmm?
What about?
Yeah, I mean, I think,
stuff?
but it makes more sense when people can see us.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, like I find like rush hour is, it's basically around 5, like 4:30 to 5:30. It's probably still gonna be like 5:30 for a little bit.
we could do that.
On the 5th.
No,
No,
before that.
just another time, like another, just, get people's attention.
Sure.
On weekends, but that's for sportings, but on that corner,
Mm-hmm,
you get a lot of traffic.
yeah.
I'm willing to hold a sign.
good. Because we'll definitely be there for the election and the second and the meeting. We did that the last time we had
Okay.
signs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the input I got during the Lions thing, I did give a sign to the lion that was out front, and he waved it for a little.
Yes, I took a picture. Well, I took her picture and posted it. Yes, that was great. It was great.
I should have given him 10 spot, he might have done it.
No, we got our message across. Karen's got the followers. You've got the followers, not me. On the Mendon senior page, it has less than
Right.
1,000.
Right.
You've got like 5,000, right?
6,000.
6,000. See?
Yeah, from,
You want to set a date for that? You want to set a date on a Friday, like maybe November 1st or something? You want to do it close?
I can't do Fridays myself.
Okay. Well, it doesn't have to be Fridays, but it can be Fridays with other people.
Friday's good on it. I think your idea of rush hour is a good idea. So I could do a Friday.
And I can do a Friday also.
I'll try to be there.
All right.
The
Next
intersection
Friday?
of
Friday.
Is that the 18th? Yeah, I can
Yeah.
do that. I can do that. I just returned all the signs to the center this morning. I have the big one that's on a pole. I've got that.
Okay.
And the other ones, actually, they might be easier to hold without all the spears in it.
Yeah, it might be, and I mean, I guess it'd be good to check the weather too, make sure it's.
It's very beautiful.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday look like 60s and 70s.
Okay, they only recommend Sunday.
What it means when the Lions want to have the event.
Really, you guys,
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's terrible, because you're a wonderful organization and you do so much good. I just hope it was successful anyway.
Certain parts of it were very successful. Our golf ball drop was
Yeah.
fantastic for the first time doing it. The police department dunk tank, they've been there in the thousands.
Nice,
Wow.
nice.
The biggest thing that we ran into is because we put so many people in the school, nobody knew where to go.
Oh,
So if you looked at the field, it didn't look like anybody was there. I mean, we had 57 vendors, which is 20 more than we usually get. So overall, we just didn't have big crowds.
That's the weather.
well, they still
Oh, yeah, they came.
Yeah.
And the food vendors were fine. So, I mean, overall, it was a success. It's just, you can't fight the weather.
No.
It's true.
New England,
But this is why we rented, we paid money to rent a school so that the vendors could go in the school.
That was good.
Yeah, that was definitely good. Yeah, because, they spent money to have a spot and they want to be able to show their wares.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of vendors out I came later in the day out in the field and they were happy with, what they, did that day. So it was good.
Yeah, I think it was good, generated good traffic through it. The afternoon was pretty good too as well. I think the next thing that comes up is the end of the month, we have the Lions. I'm waiting for the invitation from them to go join them. The brothers, I'm not sure because I think they're having a Halloween party, so they may not want me to show up unless I go in costume.
well, I don't think they like it during their party.
I don't think so. So I'm not looking forward to that.
When is the Lions thing?
Lions is fourth Thursday, I believe. I'll send you a note.
Is it, okay, if it's the 24th, you can sign me up, I'll go too.
What is it?
I thought it was the fourth Thursday.
The regular meeting?
Yeah, what you were going
It
to
should be a Wednesday,
fourth Wednesday.
23rd or 24th, whatever Wednesday it is.
All right, and what time do these start?
7.
Meeting starts at 6:37.
All right, and you just,
I know we have
talking
the
briefly.
Historical Society coming in that night as well, so.
I think it's a short one.
Absolutely. Fill it up.
okay.
Less talk than we have to do.
Okay, so the other thing is just an update. Everybody's probably seen these.
Yes, beautiful job, beautiful job.
Yes, very
I think our articles in here, a lot of coverage. So I think, great job by everybody on the team.
That was in the newsletter too.
Yes, that's true. Mailers, so that's all those things. The events, the only one that we're booked into is the Lions, I think. Yes,
Are you all going to the PTO? And I mean, I don't even know, my kids are long out of school, but do they still have a PTO? No, is that still an option?
I don't know if that parents, teachers, or,
I,
I'm out of that too.
No
I
idea.
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the individual schools have had them before and maybe they still do, but yeah, my kids are also.
yeah,
Did
exactly.
we speak one night in Upton? We spoke in Upton one night.
To the board.
To the school committee.
Oh, the school committee.
That might be worth doing again. Do you know when they're meeting next?
No,
Because they were supportive and I know people do watch, like parents sometimes tune in for those, even if they don't come.
Yeah, I would think that it's hard for me to hear.
Oh.
So if you're still talking about school PTOs and things like that, I think there is talking about a senior center is really hard for people who have kids in school to really appreciate unless they really understand this is for the whole community. So, there's a constituency there that would be really nice to address.
Yeah, we did that the last time. We're gonna try. I'll go talk to, we'll go find somebody on that and I'll follow up. I'll take that action.
There was some guy you were dealing with, his last name Brown?
Eric, yeah.
Oh, okay. I think he introduced us. I want to go back for a minute to Friday night though. Mike, you said you are free Friday night to hold.
What's the
sign?
date?
I believe it's the 18th.
Yeah, I'll make myself
Okay, 4:30 up in the corner?
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you might be able to park at the bank, Charles River Bank. 'Cause
Why can't we just park right where we want to be proposing a facility to
Oh.
be?
Yeah, that feels open.
Yes.
Yeah, you could. Well, I mean, but it, like, I guess you get more traffic at the light, at the,
Yeah.
We'll walk down to the light.
And with this, all the stop and go, it's definitely a good
No,
one.
I mean, to stand in the corner, but
oh, okay.
to park my car, I mean, I couldn't I just leave it down like where the lights and not pay the parking? Not pay the parking.
Mark at the college
Yeah,
school,
Cloughtron's probably, yeah.
or even the bank would be.
That's what I was
Yeah.
suggesting, because the bank
Yeah.
is probably gonna be closed by then. Do they close at 4?
I think so.
I think so.
But I mean, I could email Karen.
I can be there too. Does anybody else want to hold signs on Friday night?
I'll join you.
Are you talking about October 18th?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Okay, no problem, because we're gonna have other opportunities.
Okay.
Plenty of time.
And,
Yeah.
okay, so 4 of us will do that, and I will get the signs tomorrow from the senior center that
Sure.
I dropped off today.
And how many cards do you have left? So we're gonna be at the chili bake-off on Saturday. And I'm gonna bring some things for the, some ads for the Oktoberfest, but I can certainly bring some cards if.
I don't know if I have any.
So I think Andrew said he had 40 left,
Okay.
yes, but then I think, Phil, you printed up.
I
some-
printed, if you look at the back of this, I printed,
This is, yeah, this is the exact same content as the postcard, just
I
reformatted.
can make some copies.
But I think Andrews from the
Yeah.
Free Press said that I don't know if he's gonna, I think he said if he's in Mendon, he could drop them off,
Okay.
or maybe we could try to get
I
them.
think he asked for a location too, though.
Okay.
But you know, I know there's a mixture of people that go there. to
Oh, yeah.
Chili contest, so there might be some Mendon people, but,
You don't have a lot of space,
I know.
I'm just gonna tell you that,
I know.
you know from last year.
you know. So John had just invited another person, a third person. I said, I don't know that you have a, room there for 3 of you.
it's small grind. But Amy, if,
Oh, it's a chili cook-off.
Yeah,
We-
Karen, I'm gonna send you something to. I'll
It's
send you an
for
email.
first
Yeah.
responders and
Yes.
all the money
Phil,
goes.
do-
We had
That
that last
Mary
year, we
should
got
be
honorable
Are
mention.
you already doing that?
They did
we need
it
to get
once.
some approval.
Okay. So I'll
You can do
find
it
my
from
I think
friends.
Right.
for sporting we had to, but I don't know.
Well, I think as long as you don't stop traffic and as long as you don't plant the signs on public property, as long as you don't like interfere or like, I think if you do like a toll road, you need to
Yeah,
get approval, but if it's just standing on the sidewalk and waving.
We'll just wave,
Yeah,
we'll have signs and that's it.
that's fine.
How are those yard signs getting distributed? Are they, you got a good list?
We did about 50 of them.
Oh, wow.
Anybody who asked for one, I just delivered.
How about Jane Lovell? You and I
Yeah.
talked about.
Jane got 2.
All right.
Two
She got one on
properties.
4
Yeah,
Main Street.
Perfect.
And I knocked on Joyce Gilmore's door because I knew she had taken one.
Yes, yes.
Put that, they all said, I have to laugh because they all say, just put it in my drive, just go put it in. You try to get it in there, it's all stone, it's dropping on it, it's raining.
that's why you had to do it.
I didn't care. I was glad to get them out and it's nice to see them. It's nice to see them all in one. It's nice to have more of them. Anybody else that didn't get a sign that wants a sign? No?
Oh, Tom on Emerson Street, I never see, didn't have one.
He was supposed to pick one up. I put one aside. The Tom picked it.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Yep.
I put one aside for him. He was gonna come down again.
I just noticed, but just.
I don't know where he lives.
I do.
Well, I know that I brought him back over there.
So I think from a communication standpoint, I'm telling people when I meet them, if you take a sign, you gotta bring 9 people with you. One sign equals 10 votes. It's an investment, right? School committee, I can try to go there, sure, try to do it, early, just go up, wait. Any other places? I can't think of any other.
The only question I have, because I have not been a part of all of this, but I just want to make sure that all the different organizations that make up this town, all the little community groups and things. Is there, I don't know how successful the outreach is, so I'm just asking the question.
I went to the conservation and one of Ann's meetings and they were all supportive. They were supportive.
Okay,
Parks and Rec, I went to theirs, they support
and
it.
I'm also talking about community groups.
Right, well, let me just say one thing. The baskets that we are raffling off, we
Yeah.
had 20 baskets. They were all donated by people who use our facility. So all of those people are already aware of the need. That's 20 groups in town.
Wow,
That's a good point, Pat.
great.
They're beautiful baskets, $1 a piece or 7 for $5. 30 for 20, 30 for 20. We should be selling tickets. We should selling them up in the corner. Tickets, get your tickets.
So I think we're pushing, we're getting down to the wire too. I mean, we have the big event, I think will be the 28th. Hopefully we'll get more participation. Anybody has questions, I keep saying, you should show up there. You got everybody you need.
Yeah, or Zoom.
Should mention that.
Or
Too.
Mention that tomorrow
Yes.
night.
And then, from the school, from the sports and roads guys. Mike, if you
Getting
get,
getting the word out. I think there's some confusion because there's this. Is it gonna impact the movement regarding fielding, this sports field? So I know I think there's a movement to try to get turf or field. And I think there's concern about the impact.
well, I think that was raised
Who
before.
raised that?
No, I think, Mike, you explained that very good.
He did, yeah.
So the folks who I ran into, I explained it.
Good.
But is that an issue? I think it's gonna be an issue. So, but I think it's not because I don't think that they don't want the senior center. I think they may impact their goal.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate.
Everybody looks at their own. I bump into people with their own little things too.
I understand that, but it is a process. It's a process of, getting your committee together and putting it in front of the select board or the town administrator and things. And that was mentioned, you guys mentioned that.
Right, and I mean, the select board is working to get those other committees started and working with also the school committee, knowing that they're going to have their big capital ask. I mean, Mike Goddard has talked a lot about that and heard a lot about that. We know the school district is going to be
Roofs and windows.
coming for
Spring.
some capital needs, and I think they're also, right, folding in that big turf field project, but that was just what Mendon community group is organizing, but that, the capital needs of the school district, that's going to be shared by both towns, so not just Mendon, so that makes it a little bit, I mean, and Upton's a little bit bigger than we are in terms of population, so they have a little bit bigger piece of the school district pie. But yeah, we definitely are working to get the word out that this project
It's not
is,
either.
it's not an either or, it's
I know.
sort of now and
They
then.
both made that perfectly clear.
Right, and
And
so,
also that it's a process.
It's about repetitive messaging now.
right,
Pardon?
Repetitive messaging.
right,
It's not either or.
and,
Trust me.
yeah, and
It's not.
and right, I mean, we're working on getting other capital plans in the works. So, I mean, one thing that I would love to see that I think I've mentioned before is I would love to see a timeline of past and future capital projects. So that's little research. It would be interesting to see this project in that sequence because Mendon has done these big capital projects roughly every 5 years as other, as the debt comes off, we take on new debt, and this is considered to be good financial planning for a town to have the new projects, the new capital projects.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think, I don't know, gonna find somebody who can do that research and because we know like this police station was, it was the most recent one, and the library was before that. It would be, I think, really useful for people to see that it's a sequence, and this project fits into that sequence.
Yeah, that it's useful to understand the history so that people aren't just suddenly thinking, oh, well, we never spend money on anything.
Right.
And you give that the evidence that, yes, we have.
Right.
Even that money, I'm gonna call it R or whatever it is, it was 4 letters. ARPA, that money, I mean, that was an eye opener to me where that money went.
Right.
I mean, people might not know that,
Right.
not saying any more about it.
There were some interesting places.
Yeah, there were.
I don't know the dates when Mayo come. That's so much low priority plate to try to figure out the history.
Oh, right. No, it's something that I'm interested in. I'll see if I can find someone who wants to do that with me.
We need a historian.
Right. I mean, I think they would be really useful for the town. I mean, I know it's all out there. It's all public record. It's just, I don't think anybody's actually done that, putting the timeline together. Like, I think, yeah.
Yeah, our debt schedule
Mhm.
does that,
Okay.
except things like town hall was done through the operational budget, so there'll be other
Right.
things sprinkled in there.
Right. Maybe I'll have a conversation with you.
And actually get turned, looking to her right.
I mean, I guess I'm interested in seeing this, past and the future. So I know you've been looking a lot into the future, but I see it as, it's part of the same big picture. I think getting that message across that this is not an isolated project, that we're not just putting all our eggs in this one basket ever. This is just this year's basket or this 5-year basket, maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a really good idea.
I think when we look at critical dates reviews, we have the meeting on the 28th. We have the warrant article, which is going to be presented.
17th, isn't it?
That's on, actually, the select board tomorrow night will be covering warrant articles.
Yes,
And that's to close on the 17th,
yes,
and we should be all set.
yes.
So that's,
It may not, the text will probably, it may not be finalized this week, but it will have a place in the
Place.
warrant and,
okay, so that's the next key critical date. Those things that are happening down the pike. Then after that, I just think we just need to keep working. Answer questions. And,
The warrant article, that's for the
the
18th?
special town meeting, yes.
18th, and I wonder where we'll be in that position of voting. Because we're gonna have to get the seniors out.
Right.
Well, we won't know that then. When will we know that?
When will we know?
Opposition and that.
The order of the articles. You don't have the budget this
Oh.
time, so you can push it up to the top.
Right,
Your
Well-
earlier is better, right?
right. Oh, yes.
It's gonna turn, the clocks go back on the 3rd.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll have it as early in the
Okay,
warrant as is feasible. I think there
that's some
There
clear.
might be a few things at the beginning I think there will be a few procedural things at the beginning, but we can have it be the first real discussion item.
because we're hoping for questions. It's good to have it early.
Yes.
All right, we appreciate it.
Any other new business? I think our next meeting, you might have got the invite already, will be, we'll coexist with the information meeting on Monday, the 28th. Because we're gonna have a quorum of us there, so we have to call our meeting too. It'll open, it'll close, and then we'll go to the information meeting. And I think as things happen, we'll just have to react to them. Try to work out some of these items that Mike brought up. Continue to get the message out. Any opportunity, some group wants to talk, just, we got plenty of people to talk. And then I think we're just we're down to we have a lot of the data we have this time. We were just chasing just to get data last time. And I think we're comfortable with what we have from numbers. We publish this everywhere we can. I think we're in good shape.
I just hope we get a lot of questions because I don't want to bore them with the same information that we've been given. Anybody who's listening has heard us feel. But the questions, they might say, oh, I was wondering about that myself.
So
You
maybe,
can plant people.
You want to be a plant?
well,
Delphinium, poppy?
we could troll back through the Facebook post and see if there's anything that's new information that. Because sometimes the people who watch the town meeting are not the same people who are on the Facebook.
Right.
Oh, right.
So
Sure.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it'd be good to harvest those questions. It does seem like some people are expecting the questions to all be answered there, like. The Facebook post is not necessarily the information session, but we can use those questions at the information session.
Mhm.
But in some cases, I don't know that, people who have the answers are not necessarily on that Facebook page.
and ABMI will be there again, recording as they did before. So they can do another snippet for us, so we can use that probably. I'm not sure it'll get done by the time the vote, but yeah, it probably will. But it'll definitely be there for the 18th.
And maybe we can address the fields issue. You know, just,
Definitely,
yeah.
even though it was already addressed.
Have you heard more people asking about that? Or
I have
Brent?
not.
Okay.
Mike indicated that he did.
Mike, you have.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah.
involved in sports.
I think they don't understand how the process works.
And I do think that there's still, I got the impression that there's still a faction out there that are looking to place a fire station up in that piece of land.
Right,
Did you get that impression too? Okay,
where?
at the same place where we are, but there is 22 acres there.
It's
But they're talking-
fire station.
They're talking about putting
Another
affordable
fire
housing.
station?
Well, I'm just telling you what I remember
Oh.
seeing that.
I think each organization has a priority on their list, and they all worry about that, and they wonder why they're not the top. But the select board can address it. Okay,
Right.
anything else?
No,
28th,
That'd be the Monday.
and then this Friday.
yeah, I'll see you Friday.
Yeah.
I want to get your phone number before you
Yeah.
leave too, because I don't have it.
And then, if I could have a motion to
Motion to adjourn.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.
If you haven't had supper or you need some dessert, DQ.
See you later.
Oh, that's great.
Friends. Yes, of course.
So the 18th is gonna be, there's gonna be another time other than.
Oh, yes, there'll be another thing. That will be our first, and we'll stay about an hour.
Yeah.
About an hour.
Can't do that.
That's okay, don't worry about it. Maybe you can do another time. It doesn't have to be Friday, but this is gonna be kind of our, that's saying, where the what is.
She's.
Orange Street.
Set up some people.
Is she happy?